On a peaceful summer evening in 2022, three excited teenagers, fresh from their high school graduation, gather for a night of celebration. Little do they know, tragedy awaited for them. A night of joy transforms into a nightmare. Let's uncover the dark secrets hidden within the events of that fateful evening. In 2022, McKenzie Sherrill was at the center of a joyful celebration as the sun set on a bright summer evening. McKenzie and her friends celebrated their high school graduation by getting together at a friend's house. They had no idea this evening would take a terrible turn that would forever change their lives. The night's chosen driver was McKenzie, a lively youngster. Taking on the role without hesitation, she wanted to make sure her friends were secure, and she was known for her caring personality and sense of responsibility. Dominic Russo and Davin Flanagan, the tragic victims of the crash, were two vibrant young men with promising futures. Dominic, one of 8 children, was a driven entrepreneur starting his own clothing line, while Davin, a talented athlete, aspired to attend Barber College and open his own shop. Despite challenging upbringings, Dominic's large family and Davin's time in foster care, their determination and optimism shone brightly. As they celebrated their high school graduation with McKenzie Sherrill, their lives were filled with hope and ambition, unaware of the impending tragedy that would cut their dreams short. McKenzie Sherrill's relationship with Dominic Russo was rocky and full of warning signs. They often argued, and McKenzie would make threats, showing her unstable behavior. Once, during a fight, she even threatened to crash the car they were in, hinting at the tragic crash that later happened. McKenzie had a history of bullying and showing little empathy for others, which made her behavior even more concerning. These red flags showed a relationship under great stress, which sadly ended in the crash that killed both Dominic and Davin Flanagan. In the early hours of July 31st, 2022, after a night of celebrating their recent high school graduation, McKenzie Sherrill, Dominic Russo, and Davin Flanagan left a friend's house. McKenzie, the designated driver, was responsible for getting everyone home safely. Around 5:25 a.m., CCTV footage captured McKenzie's car turning slowly and carefully from Pearl Road onto Alum Drive in Strongsville, Ohio. She signaled her right turn, appearing to be a responsible driver despite the early hour and the recent festivities. However, just 5 minutes later, the CCTV footage revealed a dramatic change. The car, a Toyota Camry, was seen speeding down the quiet street at nearly 100 miles before crashing into a building. The impact was devastating, killing Dominic and Davin instantly. First responders arrived at the scene to find a horrific sight. Dominic and Davin were pronounced dead at the scene, while McKenzie was found unconscious and not breathing. She was airlifted to a nearby hospital in critical condition. The initial shock within the community was palpable, with many rallying around McKenzie, believing it to be a tragic accident. In the days following the crash, McKenzie claimed that she had no memory of the accident. "I remember turning onto the street, and then my vision fades to black," she texted to Dominic's mother. McKenzie expressed deep sorrow and heartbreak, insisting that it was a tragic accident and not a deliberate act. She maintained that the crash was a result of losing control of the car.
"I hope one day you can see I would never let this happen or do it on purpose. I wish I could remember what happened. I'm just so sorry. I'm heartbroken. I love Dom and Davian."
Perhaps due to overwhelming emotions or impairment, the community's initial response was one of sympathy and support for McKenzie. Fundraisers and GoFundMe pages were set up to help with her medical expenses and to support the families of Dominic and Davin. McKenzie's public displays of grief, including posting heartfelt messages on Dominic's obituary page, garnered her significant empathy. However, as the investigation unfolded, more disturbing details came to light. McKenzie's history of reckless behavior, her volatile relationship with Dominic, and the chilling evidence from the crash scene began to paint a different picture. The investigation into the fatal crash that took the lives of Dominic Russo and Davin Flanagan was thorough and multifaceted, revealing a stark contrast between McKenzie Sherrill's claims and the evidence collected. Investigators meticulously gathered evidence from the crash site, including CCTV footage, the car's black box data, and eyewitness testimonies. Interviews with friends and family members painted a picture of a disturbed relationship between McKenzie and Dominic, marked by frequent arguments and troubling threats. Forensic analysis of the car's data indicated that the vehicle had accelerated to nearly 100 mph just moments before the crash, contradicting McKenzie's assertion of losing control accidentally. Moreover, eyewitnesses recalled seeing the car swerving erratically before the fatal collision, further questioning McKenzie's narrative of an unintended accident. This comprehensive investigation uncovered a series of red flags and inconsistencies, ultimately leading to a reassessment of McKenzie's role in the tragic event and casting doubt on her initial claims of innocence. The legal proceedings against McKenzie Sherrill were intense and highly publicized, reflecting the gravity of the fatal crash. McKenzie was charged with vehicular manslaughter and reckless endangerment, facing serious allegations based on the damning evidence uncovered during the investigation. In the July 2022 crash in Strongsville, Ohio, which claimed the lives of her boyfriend, Dominic Russo, 20, and his friend Davian Flanagan, 19, McKenzie Sherrill, 19, was found guilty on 12 counts, including 4 counts of murder. Sherrill might receive a life sentence, with no chance of release for 32 years. The courtroom was filled with emotional testimonies from witnesses, experts, and the victims' families, all painting a vivid picture of the events leading up to and following the crash. The prosecution presented compelling evidence, including the car's black box data and McKenzie's history of erratic behavior, to argue for a severe penalty. Despite her defense's attempts to portray the crash as a tragic accident, the overwhelming evidence led to McKenzie's conviction. She was sentenced to a substantial prison term, a verdict that brought a mix of relief and sorrow to the victims' families. Dominic's mom was there and showed her emotions. She expressed a bittersweet sense of justice, mourning their immense loss while acknowledging the legal system's effort to hold McKenzie accountable for her actions. The tragic outcome of the crash that killed Dominic Russo and Davin Flanagan left a deep and lasting impact on their community, sparking widespread reflection and debate. The case highlighted the complex interplay of intent and responsibility, raising difficult questions about McKenzie Sherrill's state of mind and the preventability of the disaster. While the evidence painted a clear picture of her reckless behavior, the community grappled with understanding the deeper motivations and psychological factors at play. The trial and its aftermath prompted a broader conversation about youth mental health, the warning signs of toxic relationships, and the responsibility of individuals to intervene before such tragedies occur. The community's collective grief was palpable, as were their efforts to derive meaning and prevent future incidents through education and awareness. The case underscored the fragility of life and the far-reaching consequences of a single moment of recklessness, prompting a sobering reflection on the need for vigilance, empathy, and proactive support systems in safeguarding young lives. Thank you for joining us as we explored the tragic events surrounding the fatal crash that took the lives of Dominic Russo and Davin Flanagan. Stay tuned for more stories that shed light on the human experiences behind the headlines. Until next time, take care and be safe.